people with these mind frames. I'm going to start off by saying good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for tuning in to Wolfpack Performance Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Jay, and let the shenanigans begin for 2023 already. What the hell is Bernie talking about? No, not what the hell he's talking about, because I know what he's talking about. See, y'all going to make Jay get on his shit before the season even hit. Y'all going to make me get up in the pulpit and tell it like it really need to be told before the season even began. Bernie, you need to shut the hell up if this is the type of things you're going to be out here saying, because I'm still trying to wrap my mind around why is it? Why is it? No, I got my mind around it. I'm trying to wrap my mind around why is it that people don't fully understand that for some reason we can discredit, discount, disrespect, disregard, belittle, diminish everything that Lewis Hamilton has managed to accomplish in his career of Formula One, which can arguably be debated as the best driver of all time in Formula One history. You can debate that. I think so. But for sure, is a standing, tying, record-holding holder of Formula One championships with Schumacher. Yet, I don't hear all of this disrespect when it comes to Schumacher's championships. Although there's some variables in there where people can say, he had a lot of help. He had a lot of leeway. He got a lot of practice time. Well, he had tires developed. I don't hear none of that. I don't even hear any type of disrespect or disdain or discrediting about Sebastian Vettel, four-time quadrupling back-to-back champion, done the most in Red Bull than any other driver. I don't hear any disrespect on his name when it comes to his championships. I don't even hear as much disrespect and discredit about Alonso, who is involved in the conversation that we're going to talk about in regards to the Crashgate. Although he got his championships before 2008 and he ain't seen shit since then, I don't even hear any disrespect about that. I don't hear any disrespect about Niki Lauda. I don't hear any bunch of disrespect about Senna and Prost. I don't hear the amount of disrespect that comes to Lewis Hamilton. Matter of fact, more recently, more up to date, I don't hear the disrespect that is warranted about Max Verstappen's 2021 championship and 2022. We don't hear that. But yet, for some reason, every year since this man, Sir Lewis Hamilton, has been great, year after year, seasons up on seasons, we got a group of people, we got a plethora of individuals that want to disrespect this man's body of work. And one of those individuals is Bernie Asshole. This one, but you know what? When I look out here amongst the landscape, I can only find something that really sticks out to me. That Lewis Hamilton doesn't look like the rest of those drivers when you put the pictures side by side. Because, I mean, we talking about great driving. He's done that. They've done that. We talking about they have been part of great teams. They have given their drivers good machinery. He's done that. They done that. They done that. When we talk about accomplishing fastest laps and records, he's done that. Some have done that. Some have not done that yet. So the only thing I can really look at and say, that guy looks different than the rest. Is that the variable that has them being able to feel or enabling them to feel like his shit ain't as great as everybody else's, even though they ain't done as much as him? So let's look at this. Let's look at this interview, or these quotes, or these statements, so-called reported, that Bernie has said. Big shout out. I see some, for some reason, YouTube ain't making the chat work. I don't know what's going on, but I got the live chat up now. Look, YouTube like playing games. They like playing games. I'm just now seeing y'all's live chats. Big shout out, Freak Dogs Flair. Only one record to be broken by Lewis. Sylvia Kelly Witt, because they're racist little F-wits, and that's what we're going to get into. But I'm going to break it down, because for some of you who may not have seen or those that may have seen, I'm going to refresh or bring up some points that Bernie failed to bring up, because if Bernie brought these points up, it would further discredit the shit that he said. Black-hearted Mad Dog, when you black and that talented, no matter how great he is, somebody always hating on him. It eats at their soul how legendary he is, and that indeed is some truth to that. So let's break this down. Bernie says Schumacher is the only 7-time F1 world champion and has explained why Hamilton does not deserve to share this record. Okay. All right, Bernie. And it would be understandable if Hamilton still harbors ill feelings towards the 2021 championship battle with Max Verstappen, which we already know factual was incorrect. Results altered to give you what you got. Okay. But former F1 Supremo Eccelstone believes Hamilton is lucky to have won 7 championships and insists his former Ferrari rival Felipe Massa was robbed when the Brit won his maiden world title in 2008. This man said Felipe was robbed. Wait a minute. Wait a damn minute. Hold on. Wait. So Felipe was robbed, yet McLaren Mercedes was not the one who initiated Crashgate. Okay, wait a minute. Felipe was robbed, yet Lewis Hamilton was not the driver who directly was supposed to be in benefit of the Crashgate. Wait a minute. Felipe was robbed, but Lewis Hamilton wasn't in 2021? Bernie, how come you not out here camping? If you feel like Felipe Massa was robbed in 2008 Singapore, how in the hell come we have not heard you speak equally or even more so about Lewis Hamilton being robbed in 2021 Abu Dhabi when we know factually that's true? Why you not out here talking about that? Why are you not out here talking about Max Verstappen does not deserve to be a 2021 world champion? Because we know Red Bull, Christian, Wheatley were on the phone asking Massa to do something, Messi to do something that definitely wasn't correct. Why are you not out here campaigning for that? If you feel like Felipe was robbed, how is it that you don't feel like Lewis Hamilton was robbed? If Lewis Hamilton is lucky, why is it that Schumacher isn't lucky? If Schumacher's lucky, then goddamn Sebastian Vettel gotta be lucky. If Vettel's lucky, then we know for sure, damn sure, that Max Verstappen and Alonso, 2-time world champions, gotta be lucky. And if they lucky, then so on everybody else is lucky. How come it is that Lewis Hamilton is the only one that's lucky to win 7 championships? That's not easy to do. But Lewis Hamilton the only one that's lucky. Okay. All right. So he says Massa was robbed. We're going to clear this shit up right now. I'm going to clear it up right now. If I don't clear it up for you, I'm going to put it in context a bit more for you. Massa was not robbed, although I ain't got nothing against Felipe. I think he a decent dude. I do believe that. Well, no, wait a minute. I'm going to change that. Massa was robbed, but it wasn't by Lewis Hamilton. It wasn't directly as closely by Renault and Alonso. Matter of fact, I tell you what, we're going to set the stage. Who had pole position in 2008 during this race? First time. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you this. Singapore 2008 has so many ingredients that will forever make it a talking point. You can put Singapore 2008 in a debate, and that shit will go on forever, for hours. 4 hours. Sylvia with Kelly. Are we sure Karen Horner hasn't got his hands up Bernie's ass, working mechanics? All we know why is targets Lewis Hamilton. That's right. This is right here. Puppet talk. But yes, Singapore 2008 has so many ingredients to make it one of those races that will forever be remembered and can be talked about. You got pit lane closed, teams entering the pit. They going to take 10-second penalties, drive-throughs. You got wrecks, crashes. You got initiated scandals. You got a great race and whole championship battle going on between Massa and Lewis. You got Alonso on the mix with Renault. There are so many talking points. You got crash barriers that leaking water on the track causing incidents. There are so many talking points in 2008. But some of the talking points Bernie failed to mention that would have discredited his BS, I'm going to bring them up. Felipe Massa had pole position. Congrats. Felipe Massa was leading the race before Renault Piquet Jr. and Alonso initiated Crashgate, which is funny that Bernie's not talking more about that in disregard for Alonso in today's time. I don't know why you're not talking about more of that, Bernie, but I mean, I guess it's because who's involved. Picture right there. But I'm going to tell you all something that Bernie failed to mention during his rant. I'm going to tell you something during my rant he should have mentioned. I'm going to show you who robbed Felipe Massa. This is who robbed Felipe Massa right here. You want to know who robbed that man? That's who robbed him. Ferrari robbed Felipe Massa. It wasn't Crashgate. It wasn't damn Formula One as a whole. It was his own damn team. Felipe's own team robbed him, y'all. And some of you may say, well, Wolfpack, how is this the case? How is it that Felipe leaves with a fuel hose attached to the damn car? And that's what caused him, who he came in to pit before Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton pitted after him, as you saw the clock running. Felipe leaves with the fuel hose attached because Ferrari fumbled it up, has to pull over at the end of pit lane, and Lewis Hamilton goes over to take position of the race. It wasn't Crashgate who robbed Felipe. It wasn't Lewis Hamilton who robbed Felipe. It was Ferrari who robbed their own driver in Felipe Massa. Bernie, why didn't you tell that? Why didn't you explain that to the people? OG Zilla. Not based on luck at all. Lewis showed his genius when he made the move from McLaren to Mercedes. I remember back then he was getting so much hate for making the move, saying he was going to a worse team. Matter of fact, while we're talking about that, OG Zilla, I'm glad you brought up a point. It was a certain content creator who posted a social media post in which said partially that Michael Schumacher walked at Mercedes so Lewis Hamilton could run. What in the fuck is you talking about? What are you talking about? Why is it always something that people putting out here to dampen or darken or discredit or disrespect Lewis Hamilton's work? When we not doing that with so many other drivers, equally so. Show me in Lewis Hamilton's time frame, in all of his championships, show me something like Crashgate. Show me something like NDA Massey and Max Verstappen and the whole Abu Dhabi 2021 situation. Show me something that equals up to that. You gonna tell me Spygate or something? What you gonna tell me? Why are people continuously doing this? And y'all want to know why I stand up to bat like I do? Because I see the bullshit that you do, even in my peripheral. So why didn't Bernie talk about that? Matter of fact, why didn't Bernie also talk about this? Even after that situation, Lewis Hamilton still had to pit. At some point in time, he didn't win the race, but he collected enough points, rightfully so, driving. Did you remember the move he pulled on Coulthard from Red Bull to capture that damn podium position? I believe that's when he captured the podium position. Freak Dogs Flair. Lewis joined Mercedes same year Toto became CEO. So not only did Lewis Hamilton go to a worse team and people questioned it, incoming CEO, there were certain variables to there that definitely should have dampened a lot. But period, the man is great. It's okay that you can say that a black man in Lewis Hamilton is great. That a black driver who graced Formula One being one did so much to become number one. You should be able to say that without feeling so much hate in your heart. It's not like it's 6 of them running around. But if it was that case, it probably would be all hell would break loose in the paddock. Because that's what you make me feel like when people like Bernie keep saying things like this. That's what people make me feel like when they say the disrespectful things they say about Lewis. Now, you want to say something about the man's driving craft, all this. Maybe you don't like his character. Maybe you feel like other drivers have done so much more in the community to help. Maybe you like so many of the other drivers' commissions and their inclusion initiatives that they doing to try to bring equality to the sport of Formula One in the form of women participating and people of color participating. Wait a minute, there ain't a lot of drivers doing that shit. My bad, hold on. Maybe you don't like the fact that Lewis Hamilton is so high up in the fashion model industry and the clothes he wears in the paddock and the money he's making outside of Formula One. Maybe you like other drivers that are doing, wait a minute, a lot of drivers ain't doing that. Maybe you don't like the fact that other drivers who are creating movies and doing things with production companies and got Valentino shoes and go out on the track to race. Wait a minute, it ain't a lot. Okay, that's why y'all don't like Lewis Hamilton, because he do a lot of shit a lot of drivers not doing, and now you just want to keep on disrespecting him until he lead the sport. Lewis Hamilton, for some reason, be known to others, should be retiring from the sport, meanwhile still competing on an elite level, and Alonso shouldn't retire, as you see him right there, while he ain't tasted a win for a championship and now over a damn decade. But for some reason, Lewis Hamilton need to be the one to retire. What the hell? Is that Glock? Is the Glock moving slowly? Mic drop. I'm just telling you. Sir Lewis Hamilton lives rent-free in everyone's head. They always have something to say. J-Rob, Will Harris, big shout out. Free Dogs Flair. Toto is the Lewis of team principals and CEOs. I agree with that, and they don't like that either. That's why they like seeing Mercedes on the back foot, and it's going to happen. I'm not mad that Mercedes is on the back foot. It happens in sports. I've seen it time and time again all throughout all types of sports. I'm not mad about it. This is what happens. It speaks more to somebody who can be dominant than fall from their high mountain top and find a way to crawl, gravel, and rebuild themselves to get back up there. If that is the story to happen, it is great. If it doesn't, it's no different than what's happening in history and in other sports. Everybody and all teams cannot and will not be great forever. It happens. Uno, these haters, please stop crying and respect Lewis making history. We can't hide behind masks, denying a person respect. Salute this man making history. They are hiding behind masks, and some of them are in plain view, but they still disrespecting this man. They still disrespecting this man. The R2 Tech, keep it spitting those facts. I pray he gets the 8th this year. Sunday is going to be a shocker for everyone. We're going to be looking for it. So then he goes on further in this interview. He says, Hamilton became the youngest F1 world champion at the time of his incredible success with McLaren 15 years ago. But Eccelstone has now opened up on the Crashgate scandal that he thinks ultimately resulted in the world championship going in Lewis Hamilton's favor. What the hell? Hold up. So this how you feel, Bernie? So what? People, answer me this. Why has Bernie not opened up talking about Abu Dhabi 2021 and the scandal that took place there with the whole blowing up of regulated rules to then give Max a championship, whom was getting gapped by 10 to 14 seconds, getting blown up in that race, getting blown away in that race? Why you not talking about that? That's the new hottest thing. That's the new hottest scandal that happened. Everybody know it. Massa got canned because of it. He got NDA'd up because of it. Why you not talking about that? Bernie, we need you to start talking about that so you can start letting some of these demons out. So you can start letting a lot of people in the Formula One community know what really, really, really went down. So you can just go ahead and put it out there that, yeah, they did it. They did it. I watched them do it. Where's the footage of the in control room? Where's all the audio? Why is Massey NDA'd up? If there ain't nothing that went too wrong, he don't need an NDA, but he is. And he gone. Why? I mean, I'm not doubting that Massey could probably come back. Fabio came back. People got banned from Renault for the Crashgate. But listen, check this out. Listen to what Bernie says. Let's listen to this. Bernie says, during the Singapore Grand Prix of 2008, Nelson Piquet Jr. deliberately crashed to help his Renault teammate Fernando Alonso. Showing up to every Grand Prix, getting an award for attendance certificate to win the race. Piquet Jr.'s intentions of sabotage only transpired a year later following an FIA investigation, but the incident was a decisive factor in the title race as Massa out on crucial points in the race. Results were upheld. Hold on, people. Don't let them fool you. Will Harris, big shout out. I was just talking to Blue Diva Marianne DeRegulo last night about the dumb McLaren mechanic that came out last year saying Lewis had no technical knowledge. It's sad. But wait a minute. Why didn't they talk about Alonso passing out envelopes of money to try to derail that side of the garage where Lewis Hamilton was? Why are we not talking about that, Bernie? Why are we not talking about the low integrity, the bum-ass ship that Alonso was trying to pay to sabotage his teammate in Lewis Hamilton? Why are we not talking about Alonso holding up in the pit Lewis Hamilton from getting changed out to derail qualifying? Why are we not talking about that, Bernie? I know what Hamilton also did and Alonso didn't like it. We could talk about that too. We could talk about it all. But if you're going to talk about it all, talk about it all. But Bernie, you leaving something out. Bernie's leaving something out, y'all. Not only was it this situation, Massa drove horribly after that. His mental was broke. His mental for driving, his fortitude for standing in that race was broken after that. Massa drove horribly. That probably wrecked his mind. Ferrari robbed him, not Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton didn't rob him. Ferrari robbed him. It's not the first time Ferrari's done something like this. So let's not act brand new. But Bernie didn't mention that. What he also didn't mention is Massa spun out in that race to his own fault. There were some cars up there, but Massa failed to negotiate the situation and he spun out. Bernie didn't mention that. Why you didn't mention that, Bernie? Why didn't you mention that Massa fell back because he drove horrible? Massa finished that race in 13th also because he spun out. Why didn't you also mention Raikkonen didn't even finish because he wrecked the car hopping curbs, the other Ferrari side of the garage? It wasn't Lewis Hamilton who robbed Massa. Inevitably, it really wasn't even Crashgate because Massa was leading the race. He pitted first. Lewis Hamilton pitted after him, and Massa was ready to leave, but his team screwed him. Ferrari robbed Massa, not 2008 Singapore, not damn Renault inevitably. Renault pulled on some bullshit. Fernando Alonso was part of some bullshit. Piquet Jr. was part of some bullshit. But even after that, there was plenty of opportunity for Massa to still win the race. But his team screwed him. And then he drove horrible. And then he spun out. That's why he didn't get the points in Singapore 2008. Stop playing with me. I got to do this before the start of the season. If I got to, then I got to. I can, so I will. Those who can do, and I can, so I do. Those who can't, talk about those who can. So feel free to talk all the shit about me you want. Nah, Bernie. Nah. You ain't gonna get away with that shit tonight, Bernie. You're not getting away with it. So, Bernie, you then say this: Max and I were informed during the 2008 season about what happened in the race in Singapore. Eccelstone told F1 Insider Piquet Jr. had told his father, Nelson, that he had been asked by the team to deliberately drive into the wall at a certain point in time in order to trigger a safety car phase and help his teammate out, Alonso. We decided not, listen to this part. Bernie says, we decided not to do anything for the time being. We wanted to protect the sport and save it from a huge scandal. Bernie just told y'all that he deliberately, purposely held off investigation and announcing what happened in Singapore to protect the sport. So wait a minute. I guess this is the mentality of Formula One. I guess this is why we haven't seen an overturn of the championship standings, which, Bernie, you should be campaigning for that. You should be campaigning. You should feel ultimately horribly bad that Lewis Hamilton did not, one, get his 8th world championship to break that record that he holds with Schumacher, rightfully so. Big shout out to Schumacher family. You should definitely be horribly sad that Lewis Hamilton didn't get to break that 5-repeat streak that he no longer will probably ever get. You should feel bad, but why don't you feel bad, Bernie? Because Lewis Hamilton is black. You don't feel bad because Lewis Hamilton is black. That's what I think. That's my opinion, because I'm looking at all the other things and I can't pick anything out on these other drivers that you don't attack, on these other drivers like Max Verstappen that you're not talking about, besides for that fact. What other reason could there be? Max Verstappen literally got awarded a championship in 2021 due to a scandal, due to a situation. You want to call it human error? Call it human error. You want to call it whatever you want to call it. The point is, something took place in Abu Dhabi that was not correct. They recognized it wasn't correct. They fired a man because it wasn't correct. They NDA'd a man because it wasn't correct. Ted has talked to it because it wasn't correct. Other drivers got screwed over by it because it wasn't correct. But yet, you didn't say anything about that. You didn't feel sorry for Lewis Hamilton about that. You haven't tried to voice campaign for an investigation that will legally overturn anything about that. But you going back to 2008 when Ferrari screwed Massa, when Massa drove horribly, when Massa spun out, when Renault initiated a Crashgate situation with PK so that anybody could benefit like Alonso. You're not talking about that. Matter of fact, why isn't this whole interview about Alonso not earning or deserving to win in Singapore because his team did what they did? Why is it that you're not talking about how shameful it is for a 2-time world champion to be involved in something like that? Why is it that you're not talking about that? Sylvia Kelly is gifting somebody. Only True just got gifted a Wolfpack membership. Make sure you download Discord. Make sure you get in the Wolves then. Shit gonna get hot this weekend. So Bernie actually says that he covered up a scandal temporarily trying to protect the sport. So I guess we should not be surprised that we see what we see in today's time. And many people have told us this. Many people have told you this is real. We should not be surprised. Bernie. He then adds, there was a rule at the time that a world championship ranking was untouchable. Dun, 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 dun. After the FIA award ceremony at the end of the season. Eccelstone still has sympathy for Massa after his 2008 heartbreak. Oh, God. Bernie goes to sleep every night crying himself to sleep. Oh, Massa, I'm sorry. Man, this shit is ridiculous. So there was a rule at the time that you couldn't change or amend or correct the championship standing points post the FIA award ceremony. Is that rule still in place? I need to do my research and find out. Because if that rule still is not in place, I would like to wonder and ask or inquire to somebody who could, oh no, gifting somebody Wolfpack membership. Hey, Eagle King, you just got a gift of your life. Download Discord. If this rule is not still in place, I need to know why is it not, being that an investigation to overturn championship points in that race, which Max Verstappen was clearly getting his ass beat. Why are we not overturning that? Because that clearly, obviously, is the swinging factor of why that race result was overturned, was changed, was altered, was scandaled. That's just a fact. Unlike the 2008 Singapore, yeah, you could say it brought out a safety car, but the only person who directly benefited was Alonso. All the grid was affected because they have to adjust to a safety car. Some teams came in when the pit lane was closed, they got a penalty. Other teams stayed out. After that incident was cleared up, Felipe was still in the lead. Bernie. He still was leading in the race, Bernie. It wasn't like the safety car situation where Massa and Jonathan Wheatley and Christian Horner went and deconstructed and reconstructed how you supposed to restart a race. Although we've seen it for 2 years, Massa never restarted a race like that. We've seen Massa add extra laps just to get unlocked cars where they need to be. If we're going to go back, trust me, when the anniversary come, I'm about to go in on these motherfuckers, believe that. So, Bernie, here is your opportunity, your chance to even have recently and presently a situation that someone in Lewis Hamilton was done wrong, who conducted himself as a gentleman and a competitor with and communicated with Max Verstappen and his dad. Congratulations for winning a race. And then went ahead and went to himself. But you don't feel bad for Lewis Hamilton, huh? Why? Because you're glad that he didn't surpass Michael Schumacher in a white champion. That's what it is, Bernie. You said it on TV, Bernie. Do y'all forget Bernie said this on TV? Galactic, smash the like button. Now and forever family. Big facts. Do y'all forget Bernie said it on TV? He contradicted himself on TV. He exposed himself on TV. He said he didn't want to see Lewis Hamilton break Schumacher's record. But then when it's implemented and when they initiate the fact that what if somebody else could have broke it, then it's like, it's okay. If he can break it, he should break it. So it's okay if Max can break Schumacher's record, but it's not okay if Lewis Hamilton breaks it. So it's okay that white Max Verstappen can break white Schumacher's record, but it's not okay that a black man in Lewis Hamilton, who's done great things in the sport of Formula One, break Schumacher's record. It's okay if you just right there, but we don't want you to be better. That's what's going on. That's the dynamic right now. See, other platforms, they scared to say this shit. I'm not scared to say it. Other platforms and other journalists, other damn big ass damn shit marketing, other big ass networks, they don't want this, right? They don't want this smoke. Trust me, I can do it without cussing, but the point is I'm on my own platform, so I'm going to do what the hell I want to do, like it or not. They don't want Lewis Hamilton and a black Formula One driver, one of the most, if not the most successful Formula One driver, to be better than, to be greater than. It's already bad enough for some that he's equal to Schumacher, but damn sure we don't want to see him succeed or pass it. Why? Because that record right now has been so out of sight. If Lewis Hamilton was to get 8, we got to look at his face for a long, long time. And the question to them that they ask is, do we want to look at a black man's face at the pinnacle and top of Formula One? Do we really want to do that? That's sad. It shouldn't be about that. I'm not mad Schumacher held the record. I wasn't mad when he got it. It's greatness. Why you mad at greatness? If you could be great, be great. Aside from the situation in 2021, if Max Verstappen, I don't like his character, but if Max Verstappen went on for his career to legitimately win 6 more championships to end up with 8 in respect without any more scandals and do it, I ain't going to be mad at that. I'm not going to be mad at that. Because I can be that way, but it's people out here for all the wrong reasons that don't want to see somebody get what they deserve and what they work for. That's the damn shame. It's the color blame game, the color shame game. Bernie, you sound crazy. It's utterly ridiculous and nasty that you that way. Anytime y'all hear me talk about negative about Max, it's because his character negative. And I can give you examples and evidence to prove it. But I always credit him for being a good driver. I credit him for the good things he's done in the car. I credit him even for 2022 championship. What you doing? What are you doing out here? You can't give Lewis Hamilton his just due? Even if you want to call him Lulu. He's 7-time champion Lulu to you. Matter of fact, he's 7-time Sir Lewis Hamilton, Shamilton, whatever else you want to put on it. He's 7-time champion. He's multiple Formula One record holding. Alonso and Max Verstappen don't lead in records more than Lewis Hamilton does, even today. Max may one day, but it ain't right now. Alonso is never. It ain't happening. The record that Alonso has, I'm sure Lewis Hamilton ain't mad at it. And that's for having the longest Formula One career. That's the record Alonso's holding on to every night. He gonna leave the sport of Formula One holding that record. And if Lewis stick in there a few more seasons after he leave, he won't have it. And I'm pretty sure Alonso's like, I'm not leaving till Lewis leave because that's one record he ain't gonna get from me. I'm gonna get that. Galacticus, when Sir Lewis gets 8 World Driving Championships, their heads will explode. Yeah, I don't doubt it. They're going to be mad. Don't be mad. Scratch your ass and get glad. Get on the right side of the fence. Come on over here. Come on over here to the world of equality, where we don't judge people by color or ethnicity or their sexual preference or where they come from in the world. Come on over here to Wolfpack, where we just try to have good debates. They might get healthy. They might be mean. They might get a little heated. But at the end of the day, we're going to respect you for who you are, as long as you be real about that. Freak Dogs Flair. Ted Kravitz said F1 changed the regulations to stop Mercedes and Lewis' era of dominance. He did say that. Every now and then, more often not, I'm going to say more often not, Ted will say something with some hot fire. They changed the regulations and the rules to stop Mercedes dominance. They altered 2026, the MGUH, brought that down so that Audi and Porsche could kind of have their way in here, yet they want to keep Andretti out. But Bernie admits that they covered up a scandal. Bernie, I need you to go ahead and do your thing. Go ahead and pull some rank and get the 2021 shit right. You over here covering up scandals and shit you know was wrong to protect the sport. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Come on. Really? Bernie, stop it. You looking ridiculous out here. However, had the results from Singapore Grand Prix been nullified following the investigation, the outcome of the Drivers' Championship could have been changed. And regretfully, Eccelstone still has sympathy for Massa. First of all, Massa finished 13th. What were you going to tremendously change? The points he collected was none. He finished 13th. He wasn't even on the podium. He wasn't even in top 5. He wasn't even in the top 10. What were you going to change? What was going to change? Nothing. What you want to happen is you want to find any excuse, anything you could do to offer somebody some bump up to say that you were better than Lewis Hamilton in 2008. Not Lewis. And you look crazy. OG Zilla, unpopular opinion. Lewis left the door open for Shanghai shenanigans when he threw away the win in Azerbaijan because of brake magic. Listen, guess what? I'm going to tell you this. OG Zilla, unpopular opinion, but real opinion, and some fact to that. I'm going to go into that right now. Lewis Hamilton made an error in Azerbaijan on brake magic, going right off into the runoff. True, what he did there cost him points that probably would have taken him into Abu Dhabi up on Max, is what he did there, right? But then you also can go back and say, even with those points, right? Because let's do this. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Let's do this. I'm all for it. I'm all for the smoke. I'm all for, let's look at some things. I'm all for that. Let's look at some things. Let's look at Azerbaijan. Let's look at that. Oh yeah, we're gonna look at it. I don't mind. I like shit like this. I like shit like this. All right. 2021, Max didn't even finish on podium. All right. Podium was Vettel, Perez, Gasly. 2021. All right. Race results in Azerbaijan were as it is. Max Verstappen finished. Where did Max Verstappen finish? He had an accident. He didn't even finish. He didn't even collect any points. Lewis Hamilton, because of brake magic situation, finished 15th. Okay? He didn't even collect any points. So, With that big of a gap in 2021, as you're mentioning, right? You're mentioning that. Even if Lewis happens to not do brake magic, right? Because then let's look at pole position, qualification, the starting grid. Let's look at that. Just so we can bring this home. Lewis Hamilton was second. So if he doesn't finish, let's say right there, I don't want to put him in front of Leclerc. Let's say he doesn't get first. Let's say for sure, because Verstappen had an accident, so he's out. So we don't have to argue that. Gasly finished third because Verstappen's out. But then we see that Perez and Vettel get on there because of incidents. So let's just say Hamilton finished second. All right? At that point in time, if we deduct those races, it's possible that Lewis threw away those points that could have cost him that win. I'll give you that. I like that. I'm not even mad at that. But even with that being the case, OG Zilla, factual, not opinion. They went into AD 2021 even on points, although not race wins. If they both don't finish the race, Max Verstappen wins because he has more race wins. Fact. They both were even in points going into that race. Fact. Lewis Hamilton was gapping and beating the shit out of Max Verstappen in that race by 10 to 14 seconds at any given time that you want to peek into. Facts. Latifi crashed driving for Williams. Facts. Safety car comes out. Facts. Massa initiates and fails to do the proper procedure of unlapping of cars. Facts. That's what was at the end of the day, at the end of the season, what was the determining factor of Lewis Hamilton not getting, stopping Lewis Hamilton for having his 8th world championship, which he earned in that race. Those are facts. True enough, brake magic cost him points where, like I say, my coach in varsity told me, if you're going to go out here and play with these referees, you all as a team better do everything you can to take it out of their hands. Run the score up. Don't give them the opportunity. I can go with that. Galacticus, I think Jay Chadwick will race Sunday. Let's go. I do too. We're going to see what happens with that. Blue Diva, when Lewis starts winning, watch him get fined. Whoa. By the way, last season, I believe Lewis Hamilton was one of the drivers at the top of the list that had the most fines last season. Don't quote me. Just go look it up. I think he had was at the top of that list. Top 3 for sure. And I don't doubt that this will be any difference if the W14 performs at any point in time, whether it's updates or not. If Lewis Hamilton, why you think Bernie out here talking this shit right now? You don't think he sees something with that W14 and Mercedes say, oh shit, they might be getting some traction. Let me come out here and throw some dirt on Lewis Hamilton's name. I'm just saying it's possible. Blue Diva, her next super chat, they will change the rules to stop him. They already have. Ted said it. Many other people have said it, and I don't doubt it. Now, was I in a room when these rules were made? But we know there was the Jordan rule, right? The Tom Brady rule, right? There's some Lewis Hamilton rules in Formula One. Trust me. I think we can look at those as safe indications. Freak Dogs Flair. Darth Lewis shall have his vengeance. Hey, I'm trying to tell you, I don't even want him to be Darth. Because at the end of the day, Darth is a menace. They look out. They trying to be negative. They out here with a negative energy. They trying to take over, beat people. Lewis is a Jedi. And at the end of the day, the Jedi Force is stronger because they are at one with themselves. They can live with their mistakes. And they are out here trying to do more positive than negative. If you're going to do a comparison to Star Wars, it need to be Jedi. It's coming. It's coming. I'm trying to tell y'all something. Bernie not out here talking this shit for nothing. People don't, listen, my uncle told me, if ain't nobody talking about you, you ain't doing shit. If nobody hating on you, you not being great. It's the greatest people. Think about it. Lewis Hamilton is not even the concurrent world champion right now. Max is 2-time over right now. And still people hate Lewis more than they talk about Max. People praise Lewis more than they praise Max. The media world will if you got the choice to have Max Verstappen or Lewis Hamilton come into your studio, I guarantee you more often than not, they're going to choose Lewis Hamilton. Because people know and still regard Lewis Hamilton as the greatest driver on the track, although he hasn't won 2021. It got scandaled in 2022. And even you who are watching this video and you going to leave a comment talking shit about me and or Lewis, you know he's the greatest. You feel it in your little Grinch ass heart when you leave a comment. You feel so uncomfortable when you type that. I know. It's hard. It's hard being a hater. It's hard being a Grinch. Even the Grinch couldn't stand being a Grinch to the point he grew a damn heart because he couldn't stand being that damn spiteful. It's okay. I can live myself every day, not feel nothing about what I post because it's real. I give credit when credit is due, but I talk about you if your character gets ass. That's just how I am. So, it's all a bunch of shenanigans right now. And we know why they're doing it. So, I want to thank you all for joining us live. We're going to be live for Quality Kickback Saturday. Be here. Live watch along. We're going to be watching quality. The beginning qualification of the year. You know we kicking in. We're going to have quality trivia. Then we're going to be live on race day. Be here for that. We kicking in. By the way, don't forget to go check out the audio podcast on Spotify, Apple, Amazon. Man, if it's a podcast platform out there, Wolfpack Performance Talk is likely on it. Go check that out. Big shout out to the fam. We got a new VIP member we're going to present this weekend on one of the lives. We're going to be there to congratulate them because I'm going to ask them to be there when it's your turn to get your VIP box and you get congratulated, all right? Also, the merch drop is in the works. It's going to be coming. I wanted it to be for the first race of the season, but I'm waiting for some samples to come in. It might be later on this season, but the merch drop is coming, and it is going to be dope. Trust that. And I'm also going to have other, novelty shirts like this one that I got on going to be available on there. Some new ones coming up, Max plus Massey equals NDA. That will also be up for sale. That's going to be on there. I have some other things on there, some little fun things for you all to participate in. But big shout out to you all. About to get ready to get out of here. Peace and love. Drink your water. Take your vitamins because I want y'all healthy and ready and excited for this weekend race day. Don't forget, I'm doing the surprise waffles this year. I'm going to have waffles. They're going to have something inside of them. I'm going to let you guess, and you guess what type of waffle it's going to be. We're doing waffle. We might do French toast sometime. We did French toast last year. This year, we're going to do waffles. So that's Jay, Wolfpack Performance Talk. I'm out. Keep it real.